Hey guys, so hopping in here because I wanted to talk to you about how important it is to create a really good base before you put your makeup on. Because if you don't have a good base there, then it's not going to stick right. I'm sure you've had problems before where your makeup looks cakey, or it flakes off, or it doesn't last all day, or your skin gets really oily. And we want to try to avoid that, right? So creating a good base. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a half a face so that you can kind of see the difference. Which, bear with me, it's a little hard for me to do half a face because I'm just so used to just doing everything on one side. So I'm going to do everything on this side so that you can just kind of see the difference here. So I like to do a nice skincare routine. And this is rose water. It's a toner. And that's what I like to start with. So just a few little sprays. Okay. And that doesn't have to dry all the way before you start putting on moisturizers. The next step, this part is strictly optional. I like it because I get this puffy eye thing. And I don't have hooded eyes, but I do get some wrinkles in there. So I use a lifting serum, an eye lifting serum. So basically it's just a lifting serum. So you just need a tiny little dab. That little dab is good for both my eyes. So I'm going to put a little bit on my forehead here because otherwise that's just going to be too much. And you want to dab it on and kind of push your skin upward. Okay, it's important to lift your skin. You always want to think about lifting your skin and not pulling your skin down, because pulling it down adds to the wrinkles, and we don't want wrinkles, right? Put a little bit here. Yeah, I like that little dabby is good for both sides of your face, so I'm just kind of spreading it out because I normally just do right underneath here and then right here. Okay. It is really cold in here, so don't mind my runny nose because it always runs when it's cold. Okay, so I got this side on. So this is where it's important to have things dry a little bit before you go on to the next step. Okay, so just going to help that along so we don't eat up a bunch of time here. Okay, and then I take a day cream. Day creams are a little bit lighter and typically have SPF in them. I need SPF with my skin because I do use some prescription products that cause my skin to be a little more sensitive to the sun. So, and I'm doing half a face, so you only need a little tiny bit here. Okay, and then this is the same concept of lift your skin up. You want to get your neck too. Don't neglect the neck. And it is kind of awkward because you kind of push your skin upward. But you really want to go up and toward your hairline. Help lift your face. Okay. So I don't know if you can tell already, but can you see the skin difference between this side and this side? I can feel the difference. That's a really big thing. But also, this side's kind of greasier, and this side is just smoothed out a little bit too. And I haven't even gotten to the best part, to primer. Okay, so primer is amazing. Personally, our eye primer I absolutely love. I put this on my lips and my eye and my eyebrow. Okay, it goes on like butter. It's thicker. Okay, it's a thicker primer, and it goes on really smooth, and it does make a huge difference. And then our face primer is clear. It's a little more liquidy. Okay, and you don't need a lot. That's all I need for my half a face. Okay, I would normally double that to be a little less than a pea-sized amount if I was doing my whole face. And that's for any primer. You don't want to go too overboard with the primer. Primer is a really, really good thing, but there is such a thing as too much primer, okay? Because that's not going to really help anything, so you don't really need a ton. So what primer does is primer helps to close your pores and helps to create a base for your skin so that when you apply your foundation and all your other makeup products, it has somewhere to settle that's not in your pores, because you don't want your makeup settling in your pores, right? Right. So normally what I do is I just dab it in the T-zone and then work it out. But I have my T-zone kind of split in half here, right? Because I'm not putting products on this side. Or on this side, I mean. Let's just take a second to, do you notice the lift in my eye bags? Okay. And that's quick too, it goes quick. So I gotta kind of still do that, but not get it on the other side. Okay, so I put it down the T-zone and then I would spread it out onto either side. So kind of got the side of the T-zone and then spreading out. And you want to make sure that your lotion is dry before you put the primer on. And you want to make sure that your primer is dry before you put any products on. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of eye primer on my eye too, so that we can just show the difference there. It is freezing in this room. I'm going to have to turn the heat on in here. I have been avoiding turning the heat on. We try not to turn the heat on in my office anyway, because I'm typically in here like during the daytime when it's a little warmer anyway. And the rest of the house kind of keeps it warm, but I might have to. Another thing that you can do to help prime your face, because everybody's skin is a little bit different, so if using primer isn't working for you, you can try a setting spray. You can actually use setting spray before as well as after. It's made for after, but you can use it before. And if you're having issues with stuff settling in your pores still or being really oily, you can also use a setting powder. Okay, especially with like eyeshadows, like if you are using primer, and I mean our products last like all day, like 18 hours for some of them. But if you're noticing that, you know, your eyelids get oily, put a little bit of setting powder on them, and that'll help to control the oil so that things last longer like they should. Okay, so everything's kind of about making like a base for your skin. So let me go ahead and I'll use a little bit of the setting powder. You don't need a lot. So I like this brush because it fits right into the little mesh here, because you don't need a lot of product, and so that this little mesh is perfect for dispensing. And then, you know, you just put it on your skin, just right on top of the primer, on top of your eye where your shadow's going, okay, if you have this issue. That's something, everybody's skin is so different, so make sure that you know what your skin is like and what you need to do. Some of it's trial and error too. I mean, there's general rules of thumb, but if you're still not getting like a good purpose, then you know, a little bit of trial and error in that. So I don't know if you guys notice, but look at this side with all of that on my skin and my eyes being lifted up compared to this side where nothing's on my skin and it's kind of oily. You know, it's really red, like this side. I mean, you can tell that I'm not using any kind of base products on that side. And then there's obviously base products on this side. There's a big difference. Okay, and then so the next step would be to put our foundation and like shadows on. I like to do shadows first. That's just kind of something that I like to do. So I'm just going to take a brush here and I don't know, I got this green shirt on, so let's just do a little bit of green. This shade just happens to be Inconceivable. It's green, but it's just for the whole purpose of demo. So see how that pops nice and bright? Oh, that green color is just so pretty. Okay. just so that you can tell the difference between primer and no primer. Let me just try to put more on here. Okay, so here is where the popping really happens. Like trying to get that on. There's a big difference there. You see the difference? Just with eyeshadow and using primer. That is a huge difference, okay? So let's put a little foundation on and see how that goes too. Most of the time when if I forget primer, I don't realize until like I'm at work, because it all starts to like kind of slip off my face because I get a little greasy as part of that combo skin. I should have shook this before. Okay, so I'm just gonna use my brush because it's right here and it's just easy, and we're not like going crazy and doing a full face. So all right, so 3 drops here. Okay, so that's really all you need for our foundation. And I stipple in the areas that need more coverage. Telling you, it's freezing in here. My nose is just like running. Okay, well, here's another thing is I'm not getting the coverage that I have over here either. So I will have to put another drop, use more product on my brush here just to try to cover more on this side. I mean, I would probably put another drop here, but that's an imperfection, so that I normally do anyway. And then, you know, you bring your foundation down your neck too. Okay. So let's take a look here. So that settled well on this side. Those colors pop. Okay. And I'm not like sliding off or anything crazy. This did not settle so well. Do you see this? Okay. That is because I did not prime my skin. It's not sitting. I can try to fix it. You know, I can try to put more product on. I can like try to rub it in. If anything, all that does is make it worse. You see? It's not settling. See how this all just settles in? Not in my skin. It's not settling into the pores, but it's settling on it. It's a nice cover. And then this, like, what is this deal here? Like, nothing is on my skin right. Huge, huge difference between having primer on your face and not having primer on your face. And more than just the pigments popping out and the color of your eyeshadow. So, it's really up to you if you want to have perfect, flawless skin and take a little bit of extra time to create a base for your foundation and your eye products. And if I started adding more product, I'm going to start getting that cakey look, right? All right, so I hope this helps. A little bit of a tip on getting flawless skin, because while our skin isn't perfect, we can make it at least up here to be perfect because we're girls and we can wear makeup. So thank you all for watching.